Since 2017, the amount of people migrating to Chile from other countries in the Americas has increased. Although population mobility is usual in Chile, with people constantly coming and going from neighboring countries like Peru, Bolivia, and Argentina, usually for temporary employment, in recent years, thousands of Venezuelans, Haitians, and Colombians have entered Chile looking for a safe place to stay and have a better life. Most of them arrive in very vulnerable conditions, traveling by foot, without shelter or food. Since 2020, they usually enter the country from Bolivia and/or Peru borders, through unauthorized border crossings due to the closure of border implemented by the Chilean Health Authority during the COVID-19 pandemic. This has caused an increase of homeless migrant population occupying public spaces in northern cities such as Arica and Iquique, as well as an increase of human trafficking and exposure of migrants along the route to many other risks. Many migrants continue to travel south, seeking to settle in Santiago or in other cities where agricultural work requires labor, such as Talca, Melipilla, and Puerto Montt. This, however, exposes them to the precariousness of inconstant, poorly paid, or abusive jobs, because due to their irregular migratory status, they do not have documents that allow them to access employment contracts. Likewise, even when the country's law specifies and guarantees universal access to the public healthcare network, in practice many migrants do not manage to access healthcare. That's why Chilean Red Cross implemented humanitarian service points in Santiago, Iquique, and Arica in fixed mode, and also a mobile HSP in Tarapacá region to provide humanitarian assistance and basic healthcare to migrant people in need.
To implement HSPs, Chilean Red Cross created the Population Movement Program with IFRC financial and technical support. The team gathered information about the cities most affected by migratory movements and the most urgent needs of the migrants who managed to enter the country. Then, HSPs started to work. Fixed-stage HSPs in Santiago, Iquique, and Arica provide primary health care, non-perishable food kits for families with access to a kitchen, blankets, personal hygiene kits, kits with supply for babies, and psychosocial support care. Through the cash transfer program, Visa cards are distributed to access exams or specialized health care or to cover basic needs for family well-being. Mobile HSP in Tarapacá region brings assistance to people traveling along the northern desert route, providing basic first aid and health care, psychosocial first aid, food kits for people in transit, safe water, restoration of family links, warm clothing kits, and information about the route and the distance in the region. These various HSPs have personnel from the Chilean Red Cross belonging to the Population Movement Program and the support of volunteers from different branches for special activities. Personnel from the Chilean Red Cross includes doctors, psychologists, and logistics professionals trained and qualified for these functions.
The implementation of the Population Movement Program and the humanitarian service points required a joint exercise of Chilean Red Cross and the IFRC of advocacy and meticulous work with government and civil society entities, as well as with international organizations and the United Nations systems linked to humanitarian work and human migratory movements. Even though the team is now fully operational and fulfilling its functions, advocacy and strengthening of the migratory response network keep constant.
The main challenges to start working were the availability of resources, human and financial, and the resistance of the host community that, also hit by the economic difficulties and access to health derived from the pandemic, assimilated the aid to migrants as a preferential treatment. With the support of the IFRC, there has been advocacy with different donor entities and strategic partners, and awareness-raising work with the host population have been a key element in the operation of the PMP and in optimizing its scope.